grade. How are you? Okay, let me just play this from the beginning. Okay, all right. Oof. Welcome back from spring break. How was it? Did you have a good time with your family? And happy Easter, of course. Well, today we're going to learn how to round decimals to the nearest tenth. But before we begin, let's review. Please draw a place value chart from memory. It should look something like this. I hope you drew at least the tens and ones in addition to the tenths and hundredths. Okay? My place value chart has more, but if you drew those, then nice, good job. Give yourself a pat on the back. So we're going to look at these three decimals here for now, okay? In the first row, we have 0.83. In the second, we have 1.75. And in the third row, we have 2.98. Okay? Now, what I would like to do is I'm going to round to the nearest whole number. Do you guys remember what whole numbers are? Whole numbers are not fractions. Whole numbers are not mixed numbers. Whole numbers are not decimals. They are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 10, 1 million, 2,032,032. Just numbers that are not written as a decimal, numbers that are not written as a mixed number, and numbers that are not written as a fraction. Those are whole numbers, okay? So let's look at the first one, okay? 0.83. Okay, so I see that 0.83 is between 0.00 and 1.00. Now I have a question, okay? Is 0.00 the same as 0? Yeah, it is. Let's look here. How about 1.1 and 0 hundredths? Is that the same as the whole number 1? Yeah, it is. Okay, so where would 0.83 go? Well, let's see. I know that's 0.50. This is 0.60. This is 0.70, 0.80, 0.90. So it looks like 0.83 would fall somewhere between here and here, okay? And I see, oh, it's closer to the whole number 1, okay? Well, let's look at the second row, okay? 1.75, okay? So I see that 1.75 is between 1 and 0 hundredths and 2 and 0 hundredths, okay? What whole number is 1.00? If you said 1, you are correct. Let's look at 2.00. What whole number is 2.00? If you said 2, you are correct. Okay, so let's see, 1.75. Okay, so I see here this is 1 and 50 hundredths. This is 1 and 60 hundredths. 1 and 70 hundredths. 1 and 80 hundredths. 1 and 90 hundredths. Oh, but 1 and 75 hundredths is between 1 and 70 hundredths and 1 and 80 hundredths. And so it looks like it's right here, somewhere in the middle. So again, it looks like this is closer to this whole number, not this one. Okay, all right. And let's look at the third one, okay, 2.98. So I see 2.98 is between 2.00 and 3.00. What's the whole number of 2 and 0 hundredths? If you said 2, you're correct. What about 3 and 0 hundredths? What's the whole number? If you said 3, you are correct. Okay. Remember, 3.00 and 3 are the same value, but these are different types of numbers. 3.00 is a decimal. 3 is a whole number. Okay. All right. So let's look where 2.98 can be. 2 and 98 hundredths. Well, this is 2 and 50 hundredths. 2 and 60 hundredths. 2 and 70 hundredths. 2 and 80 hundredths. That's a decimal point. It's an 8. 2 and 90 hundredths. Okay. 3 and 0 hundredths. Okay. It looks like 2 and 98 hundredths would be maybe right about here, very close to, again, just to the higher end of the whole number 3. Okay. All right, so when we rounded 0.83 to the nearest whole number, it was 1, 1.75, it was 2, and 2.98, it was 3. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to round decimals to the nearest tenth. Not a whole number, but to the 10th. Let's examine the decimals from the review again. Look at this first number, 0.83, or we can read it as 83 hundredths. We're going to round 83 hundredths to the nearest tenth. Let's look at the tenths column there. Okay. What two numbers is it in between? Well, I see that it is in between 0.8 and 0.9. Okay. Now 0.8 and 0.9. Okay. 0.8 and 0.9. Now, they already rounded this to the nearest tenth, okay? But 0.8 is the same thing as saying 0.80. Here, 0.9 is the same thing as saying 0.90, okay? So here, this is 8 tenths, and here, this is 80 100ths. They are the same. How are they the same? Do you remember? Well, let's take a look, okay? Let's write these as fractions, okay? So, 8 tenths, how do we write it as a fraction? Well, 8 goes in the numerator and 10 goes in the denominator. What about 80 hundredths? How do we write that as a fraction? Well, 80 goes in the numerator, 100 goes in the denominator, okay? Now, let's see here, okay? How are they the same? Well, I see that 80 hundredths, you can divide the numerator and the denominator by 10. If you do that, you get 8 tenths. Oh my goodness. It's equivalent. It's the same. Is there another way to show that it's the same? Well, let's see. Can we change 8 tenths to 80 hundredths? Yes, we can. Okay, we can find an equivalent fraction. Okay, now 8, if we multiply the numerator and the denominator both by 10, this becomes 80 hundredths. which is the same. Okay, so 8 tenths and 80 hundredths is actually the same. So if you look at the number line that's drawn, okay, we see that 0.83, is it closer to 8 tenths or is it closer to 9 tenths? It looks closer to 8 tenths. Okay, so it's rounded to 0.8, which is another way to say it is 8 tenths. All right, what about 1.75? Well, I see 1.75 is between 1.7 and 1.8, okay? Because again, 1.7 1.7 is the same thing as saying 1.70, okay? And 1.8 is the same thing as saying 1.80. Okay? And let's look at where 1.75 is. Oh, it's right in the middle. If it's right in the middle, then do we round up or round down? If it's right in the middle, we always round up, okay? So 1.75 rounds to, oh, it says 2.0, but that's a whole, I'm sorry, it should be 1.8, not 2.0, okay? So that was my mistake, okay? So for there, okay, for that one, it should be not 2.0, okay? That one should be 1.8, okay? All right, sorry about that. All right, now the third one, it says 2.98, okay? So 2.98 is between 2.9 and 3.0, and we see where it is on the number line, and it looks like it's closer to 3.0, okay? All right, now I would like for you to complete guided practice numbers 5 through 7, okay? And they give you an example to look at so you know what to do. It says for each decimal, you're going to draw a number line. Then you're going to mark an X to show where the decimal is located. Then you're going to round it to the nearest tenth, okay? So you got to do 3 things. You got to draw a number line. Then you have to mark an X. Then you have to round it to the nearest tenth, okay? And they give you an example of 3.43 over there, okay? So I want you to pause the video and draw number lines, mark an X, and round 5, 6, and 7 to the nearest tenth, okay? All right, see you soon. All right, welcome back. How did it go? Well, first off, because I have to draw a number line, I drew that number line, okay? And for number 5, I see that 36 hundredths is between 30 hundredths and 40 hundredths. And right away I see, oh, that's where 36 hundredths is. It is 1 hundredth away from 35 hundredths, okay? And so, oh, I see that it's closer to 0.40, but again, I know that 0.40 is the same thing as 0.4. And so 0.36 rounded to the nearest tenth is 0.4. Okay, it's the same idea for number 6. Okay, so take a look. And 2.32 is right there. And it looks closer to 2.30 than 2.40, doesn't it? Okay, but I have to round it to the nearest tenth, not hundredth. So it is 2.3. And 4.05 is between 4 and 0 hundredths and 4 and 10 hundredths. And 4.05, hey, look, it's in the middle. If it's right in the middle, do we round up or down? We always round up. Okay, so it's closer to 4.10, but we want to round to the nearest tenth, and so that'll be 4.1. Good job. All right, well, that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.